Hey everyone, it's Kaz from Graphics by Kaz here, and today we're going to be looking at how to import custom chat boxes that you may have either downloaded from Etsy or have created yourself and import them into OBS Studio. Because OBS Studio doesn't have an inbuilt chat source like it does in Slobs, it means that this method is a little bit involved and we will have to use an external website such as Streamlabs or Streamlabs. So here we are in Streamlabs. What we have to do is go into Streaming Tools and go to My Overlays. Now we go to create a new overlay using this button up here. And the first thing you're going to want to do is choose the size of screen that you're going to be streaming at. For me, that is 1080, so I'm going to go ahead and click start. So I'm going to go to this floating action bar down here and then go to static/custom and then click add video. This is because I have an animated chat box. Click on here, change video, and then it will bring you to this overlay screen. I've already got a chat box here, but I'm going to upload it again just to show you guys. So I have my chat box overlays here, so I'm going to drag in the WebM file from my file explorer and put it in the Dropbox here. As you can see, that's loading, and then we have a secondary version of this here. Click submit, and now we have our chat box. Now you can resize this by dragging the corners, and you can see our lovely little particle effects going on down here. So I'm just going to drag that into the place where I want that to appear in my stream. Now that that's set up, I have to go again, click down here in the bottom left corner and choose Stream Tools and then choose your streamer's chat. And this will bring through your streamer's chat with this sort of black background here. What we aim to do is take away the black background of this chat box, and then we're left with our own customized background. However, what I like to do is grab this and then make sure that this box sits within the custom chat box to make sure that the chat will be appearing at exactly the right size. So as you can see, we have our chat box hovering above our custom video chat box. Now what we have to do is go to the settings of this chat box where it says theme. We can go down here and click custom, and that will make that box disappear. However, the chat box is still there. It's just sitting on top of our video chat box. So we have the chat in front, which will have a transparent background, which sits on top of our video background, which we imported as well. If you can see very slightly, there's a very thin blue outline there, and that is showing where the chat will sit. Unfortunately, there's no way of testing how this will look within Streamlabs or any other program for that matter. So what we have to do is go into our channel, even though I'm offline right now, and go to the tab here called chat, and that will just open up the chat for your channel even though you're offline. So I'm just going to type in some messages so that I'm able to see what this looks like. So if I go ahead and just give some random messages. So now we have some messages here. If we go back into our overlay, you can see that the text is appearing there. And as you can see, it's a little bit dark because it's coming up as like black text on this black background. So what I'm going to do is go down to text settings and then mess around with this. And I highly recommend you get involved with all these settings. You change it to get something really unique to your channel. However, this instance, I'm just going to change the text from grey to white. And as you can see, it looks very nice there. Now it's a lot more visible on the page. You can also turn on this secondary text shadow, which I quite like, and it just sort of brings the words off of the page a bit more, so they're a little bit more visible. Once this is all done and set up and to your liking, click on the save button up here. So I'm just going to call this chat and then click save. Now we have this overlay ready to go and ready to be imported into OBS Studio. Click on this little chain link up here, and that will copy the URL into your pasteboard. Now go back into your OBS and then click on this little plus down here in sources, and then we're going to add a browser source. Again, I'm just going to call this chat. And I am going to replace this URL that is here with our URL that we just got from Streamlabs. Now, the only thing you want to change here is to make sure that this is the same size as this overlay that you created in Streamlabs. So for me, that's 920 by 1080, 1920 by 1080, sorry, and then click OK. And as you can see, our chat box has just appeared there. You can see these really nice particles going on, and also the test messages have disappeared. So if we want to go back and test those, we're going to have to go to our channel again, and we're going to have to retype those test messages back into this so that we're able to see what the chat looks like in situ. I always recommend doing this. And there we go, we have our text there. It's a little bit on the small side. If I was going to continue this, I would probably size that up. But that's it, guys. That is how you get your chat overlay into OBS Studio using Stream Elements. Now we're going to look at doing this exact same process again, but using Streamlabs. So here we are in a Streamlabs dashboard. What we want to do first is go to All Widgets and then go to this box here, which says Chat Boxes. And as you can see, this is where you preview your chat. You've got this nice preview here. Again, you can dive in and do all of these different changes with the text and the size and what have you. When you make changes, make sure that you come down here to click Save Settings, otherwise they will not come through. Before we do anything on this chat, I want to make sure that I've got everything set up correctly in my OBS. So I'm going to go back to OBS. I'm going to find my chat box videos, which are WebM files. I'm going to drag them through into OBS Studio. As you can see, we have a very nice chat box here. We're going to have to click on it and then make sure that loop is enabled, and then click OK. Now we can drag this over here, how we want to place this within our scene, and go back to Streamlabs. Once everything is happy how you want it with the styling of the text, go ahead and click copy and copy again, and then go back to OBS and then click on the plus and then choose browser. And again, we're going to call this chat, and we're going to replace the URL with the URL you just copied. So here we go, here's our chat box, and it's the same situation as before. We've got our background video, which is our chat box with a black background, but then we've also got our chat box, which should be appearing with a transparent background. So the text will be appearing in this box, and then this box behind it will be holding it. So what we want to do now is type some of those test messages in again. So here we go again. I'm just going to be creating some random messages to see what they look like when we get through to our OBS. And as you can see, here they are. Here is where the problem lies, because when you try to resize this, the aspect ratio stays the same. And that's for good reason, because if you start messing around with the aspect ratio with shift, things start getting a bit weird. So we don't want that. The best way I've found is to click into the properties of the chat by double clicking in the sources on the chat box, and then to mess around with these values here. So what we want to do is size this red box to the same size as our chat box here. So let's give it about 450. Was it 450? Worked quite well last time. And then 700. So we'll click OK. It's a little bit too big, so I'm going to go back into those settings and I'm going to change the width. So about 350. Click OK. Yep, so that fits in. It's still a bit tall, so I'm going to go into here once again, change the height to 650. We'll see if that works. Yes, perfect. So you can see that the chat is now hovering inside those two chat boxes. And this way you're not going to get any strange cut off text. If I make a really long message here and then go back into OBS, we'll see that all of the text is surrounded by the chat box, so it looks seamless. And this is how you get chat boxes into OBS Studio using Streamlabs. What I like to do now is just to select these two and then group them together so that it can be easier for me to move them as one object. So I say group selected items. So now those two are grouped, and now I can move them around together and they're both matched together, so they're not going to become disaligned. You can also lock that down, so now I don't have to worry about dragging that at all. That is there fixed in place and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Please leave a like and a comment if this helped you out, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.